Jeudi, à l'université La Sagesse, une table ronde s'est tenue sur les défis de la mise en œuvre de la résolution 1701 du Conseil de sécurité des Nations unies et son lien avec l'adoption d'une stratégie de défense nationale par l'État libanais.
Do you think Resolution 1701 in its current state is applicable to help prevent a war, or does it need certain modifications?
It doesn't need modification, but what we can do to be practical and pragmatic is to follow a gradual process of implementation, of full implementation, with all the necessary guarantees provided by friends to the two parties, to us, on the other hand, to the Israelis, and a more active role of the UN Security Council as the main responsible for such a matter.
Who is the primary party or direction that is responsible of implementing Resolution 1701?
Usually it's the UN that has to follow up on that matter, UN Security Council resolution. But as I mentioned, if you can't implement everything immediately, as it was the case for so long, there was a sort of modus vivendi, or what we call modus operandi, to make it functional up to a certain point. You start by finding understanding, and you build on this understanding to reach that point. It's a very realistic approach. If you can't have everything in one shot, you have it in a process, gradual process, with commitment by everybody to the application of that matter.
السؤال المطروح ما دور لبنان الرسمي في كتابة نص القرار وفي اعتماده؟
Of course, 1701 is not obsolete. Not at all. It has the mechanism to save Lebanon from wars. It has the mechanism to save Lebanon from aggression by Israel or any interest by Iran or Syria. And we should absolutely be keen on implementing it because it stopped the war in 2006 and it will prevent the war in 2024.
So, do you think the 1701 resolution in its current state is applicable to help end the war, or do we have to do a few amendments, modifications?
I think it has 1701 has the mechanism. So therefore, you don't have to reinvent the way to do it. It has a roadmap already. So what it requires is political will by everybody involved directly and indirectly. And right now, the Americans, with the help of the Europeans, particularly the French and others, the countries who contribute to UNIFIL, they're all trying to work towards a roadmap that would force Israel to really implement 1701 as it should, and would also force Lebanon to take charge of its sovereignty. The government of Lebanon needs to take charge of its own sovereignty. And that would require, of course, implementing 1701 in all its aspects, not in one.
Le gouvernement que nous avons est censé expédier les affaires courantes. Mais si on peut avoir le beurre et le prix du beurre, ce serait tant mieux. Si on peut avoir aussi un consensus pour une stratégie de la défense, ce serait magnifique. Mais ça, ce n'est pas une question qui entre dans les compétences du gouvernement. C'est un accord politique qui ferait du bien, je crois, pour tout le monde.
ولا بد من التأكيد أن صياغة قرارات الأمم المتحدة وتحديدا المأخوذة في مجلس الأمن تتميز.
Who, in your opinion, is stopping the implementation of Resolution 1701?
Everybody.
Everybody?
Yes, of course.
Then who is in favor of it?
It's been violated by all. And we, Lebanon, the Lebanese government, are partly responsible, maybe negligence. We should have long ago sent Lebanese army troops to the south to fill in the vacuum created by the withdrawal of the Israeli forces. We had promised the Security Council to send 15,000 troops, and for all kinds of reasons, we were unable to keep that promise, unfortunately. But of course, having said this, the primary responsibility is, on the one hand, on Israel, because they've been violating Resolution 1701, crossing the blue line by air, and more recently, with the military operations between Hezbollah and Israel, the chances of respecting the blue line are much lower. And I see that presently there is discussion around a partial implementation of Resolution 1701. Partial or full, anything that brings peace to southern Lebanon is welcome.
Do you think Resolution 1701 has become obsolete, or does it need any modifications that we have to work on?
No. It's the only game in town. I don't think there will be another resolution. There is absolutely no possibility of having another one. And what is being negotiated is a partial implementation of 1701, not any alteration of this resolution.
رابعاً بين استراتيجية التفرق بين الجبهتين واستراتيجية الفصل بينهما كما يقول المسؤول الإسرائيليون.
La résolution 1701 fut appliquée de façon quasi exemplaire depuis son adoption en 2006. Il y a eu quelques violations, mais qui sont restées invisibles du peuple libanais car il s'agissait essentiellement d'un survol à haute altitude de son territoire. L'Israël, bien sûr, est responsable, mais aussi les groupes armés opérants du Liban ont pu jouir d'un déferlement de munitions, d'armements, de missiles de haute précision et de tout type d'arsenal militaire qui était contraire aux dispositions de la résolution 1701 et qui a fait qu'aujourd'hui, il y a ce groupe armé qui est le Hezbollah, capable finalement de faire la guerre à partir du Liban, alors que la résolution interdisait tout armement ou tout trafic d'armes à partir des frontières. La Syrie est un État limitrophe du Liban, il a ouvert ses frontières, et donc l'Iran aussi a utilisé la frontière libano-syrienne pour acheminer tout type de matériel militaire. Et donc tout ce monde est responsable devant la communauté internationale d'avoir militarisé de nouveau le Liban, alors que la résolution stipulait tout le contraire.
La conférence a fourni une plateforme permettant d'engager avec des experts et des décideurs politiques un dialogue sur les questions de paix et de sécurité. De nombreux panélistes et orateurs invités y ont contribué.